Time slowed in that terrible moment. The Joker's thumb descended toward the red button, his eyes alight with manic joy. Dick was too far away. Selina couldn't reach him. The Penguin was struggling against his bonds. Around us, both gangs had frozen, suddenly realizing they were standing on a powder keg. "Don't!" I shouted, but the word felt useless against the Joker's madness. Then something shifted inside me. The Dream Angels, those entities that had given me power years ago to fight Freddy Krueger, stirred. I felt their presence like a warm current beneath my skin, waiting. Bruce had warned me about using their gifts carelessly, about the cost of altering reality. But what choice did I have? Let thousands die. I reached for the power. The world exploded into crystalline clarity. I could see everything, the individual molecules of air, the electrical impulses firing in the Joker's brain, the quantum probability of his thumb completing its arc. I could see the network of explosives, their wiring, their connection to the detonator. I could see the web of causality stretching forward into dozens of futures, most of them ending in fire and death. But I could also see the threads I could pull to change those futures. "Renee, what are you doing?" Bruce's voice came through my earpiece, alarmed. He must have seen my vital signs spiking on his monitors. I didn't answer. I was already moving, not physically, but through the spaces between moments. The Dream Angel power let me exist partially outside normal time, sliding through the cracks in reality. Bruce called it dangerous. He called it unnatural. But right now, it was the only thing that could save us. I felt the cost immediately. My nose began bleeding, warm copper flooding my mouth. My vision doubled, then tripled. Pain lanced through my skull like white-hot needles. The Dream Angels weren't cruel, but their power wasn't meant for human bodies. Every time I used it, I burned a little of myself away. But I pushed harder. The Joker's thumb touched the button. I felt the electrical signal begin its journey through the detonator's circuits, racing toward the explosives. In the frozen instant, I followed that signal, my consciousness riding along the wiring like a ghost. I found the junction boxes, the relay switches, the blasting caps embedded in C4 packages throughout the site. And I unmade them. It wasn't destruction. It was gentler than that, and far more absolute. I reached into the quantum foam of reality and convinced the molecules of the explosive compounds that they had always been inert. I rewrote the probability curves of the electrical connections so they had never quite been completed. I altered the fundamental nature of the detonator so that it had always been, would always be, nothing more than a useless piece of plastic and wire. The universe resisted. Reality didn't like being rewritten. I felt the pushback like trying to swim upstream through concrete. My body convulsed. Blood poured from my nose, my ears. I tasted iron and smelled burning ozone. "Renee!" Selina's scream sounded like it was coming from miles away. Then it was done. Time snapped back to normal speed. The Joker pressed the button. Nothing happened. He pressed it again, frowning, then again, jamming his thumb down repeatedly. Click, click, click. Silence. "Well," the Joker said after a moment, examining the detonator with genuine puzzlement. "That's unexpected." I collapsed to my knees, the world spinning. Selina caught me before I hit the ground completely. Through blurred vision, I saw Dick take advantage of the Joker's distraction, sweeping his legs and pinning him in a practiced hold. "I've got him," Dick shouted. "Crimson Claw, are you?" "She's bleeding," Selina interrupted, her voice tight with fear. Her hand came away from my face covered in red. "Bruce, what do we do?" "Get her out of there. Now." Bruce's voice was controlled, but I could hear the worry underneath. "Gordon's units are 30 seconds out. You need to disappear." Sirens wailed closer, painting the construction site in alternating red and blue. The Penguin was unconscious, his umbrella a twisted wreck. The Joker thrashed in Dick's grip, still giggling despite his capture. "You did something," the Joker said, his eyes finding me even as Dick secured his wrists. Something impossible. I can taste it in the air. You're not just some girl in a costume, are you? I tried to respond, but my mouth wouldn't work properly. The dream angels were retreating, their power flowing back to wherever they dwelled when not in use. But they left me with a message, wordless but clear. There were consequences to what I'd done. Reality remembered being rewritten. Something had been set in motion. Move, Dick urged. I'll handle the handoff to Gordon, get her to the bunker. Selena lifted me with surprising strength, supporting most of my weight. We stumbled toward the service tunnel we'd used to enter the site. Behind us, I heard the GCPD units screeching to a halt, heard Gordon's voice shouting orders. Stay with me, Selena murmured as we descended into darkness. Please stay with me. I wanted to tell her I was okay, that I'd be fine, but I wasn't sure that was true. The dream angel power had saved thousands of lives tonight, but as consciousness started to slip away from me, I wondered what price I would ultimately pay for rewriting reality, and whether I'd have to pay it alone.